Welcome to Sabo Say a Lot. Today we are going to be talking about fall planting, planting zones, and the type of plants I've planted. One important thing to know to prepare for fall planting is that fall planting is going to be different for everyone. It will depend on where you live. I live in Indianapolis, Indiana, Zone 5B and 6B, where we are known for some of the most nutrient dense produce in the country, not just soybean and corn. In fact, nationally, Indiana ranks in the top 5 for several crops, including second in the country for spearmint, fourth in the country for peppermint and soybean, fifth in the country for corn, watermelon, and pumpkins. You will want to know your USDA hardiness zone. Basically, that means your planting zone. I live in Indiana. 5B is my coldest planting zone, which I use for fall, and 6B is my warmest planting zone that I use in the spring. It's fall, so for me, I'm working with 5B as my planting zone. Someone may be wondering why it's important to know the zone where you're planting. So I'm going to give you 3 brief reasons. Number 1, it helps to determine the first frost date in the fall and the last frost date in the spring. Frost dates will help determine what to plant and when. Timing is important because you don't want to plant spring lettuce and get frost that kills off the plant just as it was starting to do good, or plant sweet potatoes in October, which takes about 100 days to mature in Zone 5B and gain nothing but wasted efforts. Number 2, plant selection helps you to choose plants that are suitable for your climate, ensuring that the plant has the best chance for germination and growing successfully, allowing for maximum yield in your garden, which at this time is fall. It's the beginning of September. You can avoid wasting efforts by planting the appropriate species for your zone instead of wasting time and resources on plants that are likely to fail. What I mean by this is, say you want to grow tomatoes, which grow almost everywhere. There may be a variety that grows best in your planting zone, or arugula that rushes to bolt when grown in the spring, but as an autumn crop, it grows into lush plant with big flavorful leaves. Plus, in the fall, there are less insects to deal with. Now, that sounds good to me. How about you? Go ahead and Google your planting zone for the area, then list it down in the comments section below. After that, find out what grows best in that zone. Choose from the list of items that you like to eat and list in the comments section what you plan to grow. Next, Google the frost day for your zone, and that will be your guide. However, even knowing your planting zone is not foolproof. It's just a guide. Mother Nature has a way of throwing surprises our way. For example, this is fall of 2024. At the end of August, my area was experiencing extremely hot weather. Our days were in the upper 90s and overnight lows in the 70s and 80s. Now it's September, and early on, the overnight lows were dipping down into the 40s. And that was the first weekend. After a week of that temperature, it's now rising back up into the mid 80s. So, you see what I mean? It can be a roller coaster. Roller coaster, yeah. That song just came to my mind. So, I guess I'm going to need to do some strategic planning. I did Google what is the first projected frost date for Zone 5B? The response was October the 1st to November the 10th, depending on location. Now, I will need to find out what I can grow in about 60 days that grows well in Indiana in the fall, and also what can survive temperatures as low as 35 degrees. And this is the list that I got: arugula, bok choy, collard greens, lettuce, mustard greens, radishes, spinach, turnips, kale, and Karabi, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I've never heard of Karabi, which is German for cabbage turnip, and not considered to be a root vegetable. It's considered to be cruciferous vegetable, just like cabbage, broccoli, and kale, that grows above ground, while the taproot is thin and grows underground. The leaves and stems can be eaten raw or cooked, and the most commonly eaten part, the bulb, can be eaten raw, roasted, sauteed, steamed, or boiled. If anyone has grown or eaten kohlrabi, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, place in the comments section the zone where you live, also if it's easy to grow, and how you like to prepare it. Also let us know if you think we should plant kohlrabi next year. This year, my garden sabalites, I will be planting turnips. The package says it takes about 55 days from seed to harvest, so let's hope for the best. If we are successful, it's going to be a 2-for-1. The greens, which are not shown in the picture, and the turnip root. The good thing is both freezes well. If you decide to grow turnips to sell, most producers cut the greens from the turnips and sell them separately for maximum profit. Subscribing to the channel helps the channel to grow, and I would greatly appreciate it. And grows underground. Fast-growing root vegetables such as radishes, beets, turnips also thrive in cool conditions, and collard greens get just a little bit sweeter with cold weather, even if it undergoes a frost. Plus, they all take less than 2 months to mature. Let's take a look at what I planted so far. So now I'm out in the garden, and I just wanted to give you a quick view of some of the plants that I've already started to plant as part of my fall garden. This is my spinach plants that I planted at the beginning of September, and it's already starting to shoot up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place some water bottle protectors over them so that they can start to flourish and they don't get eaten up by either birds or whatever insect. This is a pot of radishes. They haven't come to a head yet, and these were planted at the end of August, and so in another couple of weeks they should be ready to harvest, since radishes only take 4 to 5 weeks to grow. And this is some more radishes that I did a little bit of companion planting with this tomato plant, and they are doing well. The tomato plant's kind of struggling, so I'm going to get those radishes out as soon as they're able to harvest. These are my bush beans, better known as green beans, that were planted just about a week and a half ago, and they're already sprouting up. I did a video about planting zones. I'll have to put it in the description that showed me planting these bush beans, better known as green beans. These are the beets that I planted, and something was kind of snacking on the beets, so I decided that I would put these bottle tops. And this is what I'm going to put over my spinach as it grows out. And maybe even those bush beans, but they seem very hardy. And so they're starting to come up as well. This planter is a planter of green onions that I planted about a week ago. I'm not seeing any activity just yet. I needed to get the tripod out because I wanted to show you my greens. These are the collard greens that I've been trying to grow, and I've had to cut them down twice to keep them from looking like this. And I'm going to cut this down, but I wanted to keep it like this just so I could show the video of how it was eaten up and what I did. The first time I tried to treat it, I sprayed a solution of peroxide and water on it. And it seems like the bugs went crazy and started eating it more. And I'm not sure if that's because it was in the heat of summer or getting to the end of July. So I actually started coming out and taking a paintbrush. It's a real light one, easy moving one. And I started wiping the leaves every day. Now see, I don't have a whole lot of greens. Now if you're growing them in the ground, of course this is not going to be feasible. But if you're growing maybe 5 or 6 pots of greens, you might can get away with this. But I'll tell you, it worked. And now look at these greens compared to this. This is kind of scary, isn't it? So, I'm just going to conclude the video. Oh, I'm just going to turn this tripod. I did plant another set of sweet potatoes. I think it was like mid-August. So now I have 3 successions of sweet potatoes. Hopefully I can make it to the end of the season. And this is another one of my collard green plants that I have been wiping off. So I'm going to go ahead and finish dusting my collard greens. But I do want to show you my grocery shopping that I've done while I've been outside. And here we are. We have a bell pepper, some cute tomatoes, they're global, and a couple of hot peppers so I can make a spicy dish tonight. Fall is a good time to plant onion sets and garlic cloves for harvest in late spring or summer of the following year. If you mulch them well and tend to them in extreme conditions, you should have good results. I welcome you to subscribe so that you don't miss the next video when the collard greens will be harvested and the turnip greens will be planted. Thank you for viewing. Until the next time, love, peace, and prayer. Bye.